fun.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to swipe it around. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Soulmate Proprietors radio show. I'm Danielle Brown, and with me is my husband, Marcel.
Nice to see you all again this week.
And we were just actually chatting about my trip I'm getting ready to leave after the show today. I'm really excited. I'm taking Soulmate Proprietors on the road. And I have a speaking engagement in Chicago. Tomorrow I'm going to be featured at the eWomen Network Northbrook chapter luncheon meeting, and I'm going to be speaking about working with your spouse and and family members as well, and all the things that go along with that. And I'm really excited about it. And he was, of course, teasing me that, wow, it's going to suck because Chicago apparently has not had any spring.
Yep.
And
basically, my sister lives in Chicago. Yes. She called me on Sunday, which was my birthday. She called me on Sunday. Late on Sunday, because she said they spent all day outside because it was very nice. And finally, they had some spring weather, which we can kind of relate down here in St. Louis, where spring just kind of skipped us by. It was winter, and then it got hot, and so anyway.
Right.
But unfortunately, while it's going to be 80 degrees this week in St. Louis, it's going to be 50 degrees in Chicago this week. So.
Aces. So I'm like, doing my best to hit the tanning bed and all that now so I can soak up what little sun I might have access to during my little jaunt up to Chicago. But I feel really bad for all those people because, I'm really into spring and summer and can't stand the winter and all that, and really sick of those temperatures. So I'm not, I'm packing and I'm picking all kinds of cute things I'm going to wear. And I'm like, nope, can't wear any of that because it's 50 degrees. So I'm not really thrilled about that. He's giving me a hard time. So
that's what I do.
That's what he does. And so week in review, like we always do. Last week, for those of you that don't know, part of what we do together is a technology company. I haven't really talked about that a whole lot. That's how Marcel and I started working together. And Marcel is an IT consultant, and I market his company. And one of our clients is a store called Mac Experts Illinois, which is an authorized independent Apple store located across the river from St. Louis in a city called Edwardsville. And it's our job to manage the store. And one of the things that has been going on is we were in transition with a new employee. And I started thinking about, well, how do you handle taking on a new employee when you're running the business together, as a couple in our family? What do you look for as far as bringing on employees? And we were in the process of training a new employee last week, still are. Hi, Sarah, if you're watching. And it's just kind of, I would suggest looking for people that have qualities that neither one of you have. To kind of add to, your repertoire of strength. And what are your thoughts on that?
That's a good point. Certainly, when you run a business, you hire employees to do certain jobs. And ideally, if you're the owner of a business, you're going to spend time working on the business, improving it, bringing more clients in the door, doing the things to make the business run smoothly so that your employees can actually function and do the job that runs the business,
right,
or in the business, so to speak. So definitely you would want to hire people that maybe are better or can become better than you at those particular roles. For example, again, in the store as the example, basically it is an Apple store. It sells computers, and people bring their computers in for service. So we want to hire people that are good salespeople, but in our case also very good with people and also able to talk about the Apple technology very well.
Right.
But
you also want them to be an extension of you. Right. Because most of our customers come to us because they like us, they've gotten to know us, we're invested in their companies as well. So we always look for employees that are going to mimic those types of personality traits as well, because our reputation is our name. So
definitely. We
look very careful.
We look for people that, like ourselves, are going to be very respectful to the customers, are again knowledgeable about the topic, and can basically represent us when we're not in the store.
Right.
So definitely, we look for very strong traits, that people that can do what we can do, maybe better, and also but still be able to keep the relations with the clients at a very good level, so that we can proudly say, yeah, this person represents us in this capacity.
And definitely, if you have thoughts on this as well, that's why we have a call-in number. 314-714-4200 is the call-in number. You can also chat us through Facebook, obviously, and we have that up here on our computer, and we're able to see your comments, and we'll answer them directly as we're talking. And feel free to jump in if you have any tips or suggestions or have questions even about how you would incorporate an employee into a relationship when you work with your spouse, because then, there's a third wheel.
Or even interesting stories of employees.
Yes, because we love those.
Yeah. It definitely is a little bit different dynamic with a family-run business.
Yes.
When husband and spouse run a company, the employees also need to be able to work in that environment, to be able to, it can become kind of a more personal relationship with your employees, because to an extent, they become part of your work family, and since you're a family-run business, the work is kind of related to your family, so they may become a little more knowledgeable of your personal lives and those type of things. So, so it can become very interesting to what can happen when you bring employees into that environment. Some employees will thrive it. Maybe they've had maybe their family has businesses, so they get it. But other people, if all their experiences work in the corporate world,
it's very different.
It may be a total shock to them. So
exactly.
Certainly, if you guys have any stories, we'd love to hear them.
We'd love to hear them. And people that are very well versed in dealing with that are going to be my guests a little bit later on in the show. Dino and Jules Karaginas with the Tenderloin Room, located at the Chase Park Plaza in St. Louis, Missouri. You can see their logo up there above Marcel there. And we're going to be talking to them later, and I'm sure they'll have a lot of tips and advice as far as that goes as well. Moving on, feel free to call in with your questions, comments, and stories. I also wanted to bring up a book to your attention. I'm also a business coach. For those of you that follow my show, you know that my company, Queen Bee Consulting, I do business coaching and marketing consulting. And I have my own coach as well, because I practice what I preach. You should always have a business coach. And she sent me a gift last week?
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks. Sorry, Sydney. I did start reading it over the weekend, though. This one is called The Referral of a Lifetime. And, well, I'm going to give you my review so far. I'm only halfway through it. And first of all, it's in the series from Ken Blanchard, and he's the one that wrote Raving Fans, if you're familiar, which is all about customer service and, the proper way to do that. The one thing I will say about the way that the book is written is it's very much in that same style as Raving Fans, meaning it's written as a story or a parable. It's not like a typical business book where they say, follow step A, B, C, D, very much first person, I'm telling you this is how to do it. It's in a story. I'm not a big fan of books written that way, business books, but the content actually is really, really good. So that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention, The Referral of a Lifetime. Because really what it comes down to, it bills itself as the networking system that produces bottom line results every day. Now, I don't know if I would call it a complete system. I don't agree with that either. I think that it's a piece of a system. Absolutely true. Yes, it's a very, very important piece of your system. Because really what it's focusing on is the grand picture of a keep-in-touch strategy. Now, a keep-in-touch strategy is when you would obviously keep in touch with your clients, prospective clients, people you just met, the whole bit, in order to form relationships and create, long-standing relationships with the people that you meet. So, which really begs the question, which as we talk about week in review, it's on the hopper in our business about changing over to a different CRM, client relationship management system. And there are many schools of thought on that. And I'm going to get a whole big thing going on my blog about it, as well as my Facebook page, Queen Bee Consulting, because, there are many schools of thought on which program is the best, what's going to work for you. I have a Mac, I have a PC, I have this kind of business, I have rules, I don't have rules. There's so many ways you can go about it. This particular book, though, it talks about making a list of 250 people and then categorizing them by people like A, B, C, and D. The A people are really close personal friends that you would, that really, really promote you and help, spread your word to the masses and just really refer you all the time. B are the people that you think have the potential of becoming an A. And C are the people that aren't necessarily out there promoting you, but, they're good clients and they're good people to know. And D are the people that you know that you don't want to work with at all. So, and that kind of goes to another piece of the puzzle that I teach called the red velvet rope, which we'll talk about another show. But right now, it's talking about getting those people down and then communicating with them on a scheduled basis, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, what have you. I'm only halfway through the book, so I don't know all the things that he's trying to teach you, but I do know that you have to have some kind of keep in touch strategy in place, and you have to be disciplined with it, and that's really where the CRM comes in.
Definitely. And to go back real quick, I read Gung Ho, which was one of the Ken Blanchard books way back in before I even started my business.
Yeah, I mean this.
And where Danielle may not like the story
I don't
type
like
of
the
book,
story.
I remember reading Gung Ho and thinking it kind of, now thinking back to it, that story, the way they told the story, really kind of drew me into the book, made it interesting to read. So,
Yeah.
so
Rich Dad's written that way.
Yeah. So for some people, the story method, I guess, of writing a book can draw them in and make it more relatable. For other people who are much more down to earth, give me the information and let's move on, like Danielle is, it may not be quite the best way to read it, but
I'll read it. I mean, it's not like it's boring.
Ultimately, when you read the book, you distill down the information and pull out what you need. So, so basically, as far as the technology, the CRM is becoming increasingly important for people because it really, especially for a small business, but for any business really, it's all about managing those relationships you have with your clients, with your vendors, with potential prospects.
Clients, right?
And it's increasingly being taught more and more that you have to have a systemized method of keeping in touch with your clients.
Well, you have to keep in touch. And Seth Godin put this in one of his marketing posts that if you only got to do business with your current clients that you have now, forever, that's it, no more new ones, how would you treat them differently that you're treating them now? And that's very important because the keep in touch strategy isn't just about perspective, it's about current. And how it's so much easier to retain a client than it is to find a new one. So I think a CRM is really important because there's so many options now, way more than there used to be when we first started working together to communicate with your clients. Social media has taken us to a whole new level. You can do the handwritten, you can do the phone calls, emails, Facebook, whatever, but to keep all of that organized and straight and who you're supposed to call and what day, there's no way one person can remember all that, and that's what these CRMs are for.
Definitely. And
so you got to find one that works for you.
And they've come a long way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, either eyes glaze over at the potential complexity of the system, but it's definitely one of those things you need to, if you run a small business or any business, and you don't already have a systemized customer relationship strategy in there, then a CRM is a key part of that. And now that we're talking about it, maybe that'll be a good topic for my show. Maybe in the next week or two, I can do a show. I can do a show on CRM because that has been a topic I've been.
It keeps coming up.
Yeah.
It keeps coming up. I'm getting it a lot more, and I really think the reason that it keeps coming up is because people are really overwhelmed. They're just beyond overwhelmed at this point, and they're trying to keep up with their business and their family and all the things that are going on, and a CRM can really help do that. But you got to find the right one, and you got to be disciplined enough to put the information into the CRM so that it can do its job and help you stay organized and efficient.
That's definitely the trick.
And that's the trick.
From our own personal experience, that's where it's very difficult. Again, it's about working on your business versus in your business, to where you have to just be disciplined and say, I need to enter this information in consistently, even if it's taking a little bit of time away from my working schedule, and it won't be as much as you think it is, but it's just getting over that mental hurdle of taking 5 minutes